Okay, this question is an example of a problem like number 5 in chapter 7 of the homework. You are asked to find the percent total solids, percent volatile solids, and the percent fixed matter, which maybe sounds a little complicated to start with, but it really isn't once you understand what they are asking for. So again, kind of like on question 4, I'm going to give you a brief description of how this test is done, and I think by doing so it'll help you understand what they're asking for, and then the math actually is pretty easy. So this, of course, is a sludge question, and the way that we do this test is we would have a dish. Ours are kind of shaped like this. And the way that we do the test, first of all, we would weigh the dish empty so that we know how much the dish weighs. And then the second step is to fill the dish with the liquid sludge sample. And then we weigh it again. And so in this question, when it says the mass of the wet sludge in the dish, 58.63 grams, that would be what this dish would weigh full of wet sludge. So once we fill the dish with the wet sludge, we put it in a drying oven. This is going to be a really terrible picture of a drying oven. But we put it in this oven overnight. The drying oven heats it up to 104 degrees, and we evaporate all the liquid out of the dish. So the next morning, when we take the dish out of the drying oven, all the water is gone, and there's just a little bit of dried material around the dish. So when we're talking about the mass of the dish and the sludge after drying, that's this right here. The dish, we've evaporated all the water, and all we have left is dried solid material. So when we weigh the dish and we want to calculate our percent total solids, what we're doing is we're dividing the weight of the dish and the dried material for 48.53 grams divided by the weight of the dish and the wet material, or 58.63 grams. So we're dividing what came out of the oven by what went into the oven. Although, of course, I forgot to account for the weight of the dish. We subtract the weight of the dish so that we know what the weight of the actual sludge is. So we're actually going to divide 0.53 grams divided by 10.63 grams. And if we divide that out, we get 0.0498, and then to get a percentage, we need to multiply 0.0498 times 100 to get a percentage. So we actually come up with 4.9, and if I round up, it'll be 4.99% solids. Now the second part of this test is going to be, once we've taken our dish and we put it in the drying oven overnight, the next day we're going to take that dish and put it in a furnace, muffle furnace. It's going to heat this thing up to 500 degrees Celsius. And when we put it in the furnace, what winds up happening is we burn off all of the organic material. So when we burn off the organic material, what we're calling fixed matter here is basically the inorganic material that's left. So when you see that term percent volatile solids, what we're really saying is that's the percent of the solid material that's organic. That is our percent volatile solids. So that gets burned off, and then what's left over is inorganic solids or fixed matter. So again, the math is kind of the same. We're going to divide what is left over, or what came out of the furnace, by what went in. In this case, when we weigh the dish when it comes out of the furnace, it weighs 48.11 grams. So we're going to divide 0.11 grams, which is what came out of the furnace, divided by what went into the furnace, which was, remember, 0.53 grams. So 0.11 divided by 0.53 is 0.2075. We multiply 0.2075 times 100 to get a percentage, and we get 20.75%. That is our fixed matter, or our inorganic matter. So the sludge is 20.75% fixed or inorganic, which means that the rest is organic. So to figure out what our percent volatile solids is, all we need to do is subtract 20.75% from 100, which of course is going to be 79.25%. So the math actually is really not that hard once you kind of understand how the test works. So again, very simple math. You're dividing what went into the oven, or what went into the furnace, or I'm sorry, what came out is being divided by what went in. So you divide the weight of what came out by the weight of what went in, and that will give you your percentage. That'll help you calculate your percent total solids and your percent fixed solids. And then what's left over, if you subtract that from 100, if you subtract your fixed matter from 100%, what is not fixed matter would be your percent volatile solids.